And a very good evening, East Africa. Mambo VP for Tanzania and Kenya. Welcome yet again to this very thrilling and also exciting week of the desk. Now more than ever, I'm yours truly, Shadrack Kisame. Now, many thanks for always keeping yourselves glued onto the continent's leading intellectual platform. Actually, the highest platform for solution finding. You guessed right. None other than the desk. And also thank you for always keeping yourselves glued onto U24 television. Now, we trust that every time you watch U24, you're nothing but inspired, motivated, and above all, you are educated. Now, remember, we're broadcasting live here at our home at Nile Avenue, Nakasero Hill, here at UBC headquarters. But guess what? You are on U24 television. Now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually going to be a very inspirational episode as we are talking to a lady who has made it her business to always make sure that the people with disabilities, the vulnerable women, girls, actually have a voice and they can be heard. Some of these things, they can be sorted. I have none other than Suzan. Suzan is actually a TV personality. UBC. Right. Welcome to the show, Suzan.
Thank you. Hi, viewers. Hope I don't be so gentle like my show. Hi, viewers. Hi, viewers. My name is Suzan and I'm a presenter at UBC. I host person with disability and people living with chronic diseases. Every Monday, 8:30 p.m.
Listen, so I want to talk about these campaigns that you're doing. But where does this all start? The passion that you have for people with disabilities. Wait, is it a family member? How do you get inspired?
Okay, in 2014, I got a disease called TB. Personally, at campus. When I got TB, I got a physical disability. Though you might not see me, I'm not lame. I'm fine now. But I was paralyzed for more than a year. Wow. And on that, I regained back after a year. So on that, the stigma I went through, of course, I had to leave campus by that time. I was taken back to the village. You get it?
I'm telling you.
So after that, I came back. One time I was with my boyfriend home and I wanted to do TV. So he told me, through your story, I think we can come up with a better concept. Because now you're going to do something you've been through, that you have experience in. You're not going to do something, you're going to sit down and think, but now if it's a disability, you have an experience on this. So that's how I started.
Let's talk about the stigma. When we go back, paint a picture when you were at campus.
Okay, now
how was it like?
I felt sick, and now you know campus, when you get something like TB, of course you don't have to be in public. Now most people thought I have HIV.
Yes. Usually it goes hand in hand.
Go hand in hand. And actually even me, I kept on telling myself, how about I have HIV? Now at school people would say, actually, I took Shadrack. I took 2 years at campus without talking to people, and that at some point people would think so. You get it, and it took so hard for me to pick up. Of course, every time. Now to my friends, I would be open to them. Of course, I don't want you to get TB. You know, TB is trans. So I wouldn't want you to get TB. So I would stay off you and just tell you, man, I have TB. So if you're fine, we can set distance and say, hi, it's like COVID. Now every time people would say, oh, you're more like Naslim, that girl has AIDS. She has AIDS. And of course I had to be home. First I get fine. I wouldn't sit myself down and believe I have AIDS when I know I have TB. Yes. Now looking at the hospital part of the stigma, of course, when you have TB, you'll be like, you're going for drugs after every 3 months. Now when you go for, of course, I had one of the best doctors, but Viti passed on. But my doctor would always tell me, Suzan, you're strong, I know you can make it. Of course, I dropped out of school for that first, so I went back after, I was fine.
So it is as bad as people even drop out of school. You lose a time of your life.
Yes. Of course, now when I was bedridden, I wouldn't walk, I wouldn't do anything for myself. Of course, now when the stigma came in, I started feeling like I shouldn't take the drugs, because now every time I would take the drugs, there is that side effect, and people would say, she has HIV. Now for me, I was like, no, I can't stand this. I had to drop out of school, be home with my family. Maybe if I get fine, I'll go back to school. So that's what happened.
The psychological torture of this thing, what was the psychological effect?
At some point, you feel you're going to die. Of course, now you sleep and feel like, let's look at the drugs part of it.
Yes, the drugs. They're too strong.
They're too strong. Now for TB and AIDS, the drugs are closely the same. the side effects are the same. I think I have my photo, my national ID photo. I did my national ID when I had TB, and I swear to God, I'm not brown, I'm not dark, but seriously, the side effect made me look like your trolls.
No way.
You can't believe. Yes. And actually, I even lost one bone on my knee. I can't kneel, I can't bend until now. Of course, if
what happened to it? It just crashed?
Yes.
So it just disappears in there?
No, like if you look at my leg like straight, one bone is out. Not like it's out completely, but it's not
off. Yes, it's dislocated.
Yes, because of the side effect. Now for the brain, of course, you'll be there every time thinking, oh, about I'm going to die. Now, so at some point, counseling, they will tell you, if you don't take these drugs well, we are going to let you leave these drugs and go back to injections. And the injection part of it, they will tell you what you're going to go through. Now, you're turning into dark blue. And they're telling you have to get the injections if you stop this. So everything of its own, it's hell. Just know it's hell. So I developed the concept from my experience. I am telling you.
So let's just talk about your recovery part, because I want the people you're trying to talk to and inspire, they should know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe someone is actually watching, but they're in that situation you are in.
You know, this is the first time I'm even sharing this story. No one knows about it.
Impressive.
Yes. Now, about recovering, one time, I became committed to myself. I told myself I can't just die I was over 20. I can't die at 20. I need a life for myself. So I was faithful to my drugs. Now one day I woke up.
So one, you should be faithful to your drugs. Okay.
Yes, you have to be faithful. Of course, TB you can get fine. We all know when you're faithful to the drugs.
Yeah.
I would take it in time. That time isn't like now when I have some money. The other time it was hustle.
And then you have to eat.
You have to eat. Now you at the same time you have to that's the part. You have to eat. You have to drink enough. You have to drink enough, and there are things you're not supposed to eat. You get it? There are things. Okay, let's look at now. You're at school. You don't have to eat portion beans every day. Those drugs are strong. Like seriously. Now recovering part. After 9 months of the medication. I started recovering slowly. But one day I still remember I'd gotten a job at MTN call center. So this time I didn't tell them I have TB. Of course, now I felt Shija, I need a job. To at least sustain myself. So I got a job. After like 2 weeks, you have to take another sample test to get to know, do you have TB still, or you can get yourself into treatment again. So I went there and I had my sample tested. This time I wouldn't wait for them to tell me I have TB. I just left the sample there and told my doctor, if I have TB, don't call me. If I don't have it, you call me.
It had gotten to that level?
Yes. If it is TB, don't. And I'm not coming back here. Of course, I'm not coming back for any medication. Of course, if I hadn't gotten fine, I was going to shift to injections. So I told them, don't call me. And this time I wouldn't walk. Like, seriously, up to now, I can't walk long. But this time, of course, the recovery part, I would walk like from here to where your camera is. And I have to stand. And I would breathe so fast. Of course, I would breathe so fast and I would take enough water. So I was at work and I see a caller that I hadn't expected. I'm like, hi, Susie, this is, yes, Suzan, I am your doctor and I have your certificate that you're now friend. I'm like, this guy is just joking. I told him, are you kidding me or you're trying to try my faith? That guy was like, okay, you'll pass here. I never passed there up to now.
Because of the stigma you
felt? Didn't go, yes. Oh, I didn't go there. And let me tell you something. Whenever I would go back to that hospital, I wouldn't want people to know that I'm on medication, of course. That hospital, people go there for AIDS and TB. Now, the moment you enter there, of course, someone will say, that girl has AIDS.
I am telling you.
I would go there. I would even go there covering myself. I pick my drugs, take it. But those closely to me, of course, like my family knew. Yes, but bad part of it, my doctor passed on. He died of an accident a year after. But he was a good guy to me. He was a good friend.
So before we go for a short break, quickly, what would your comments or reservations be about the medical sector or system of the country, being that you experienced it firsthand in such a bad state?
Okay, I have two different experiences with medical people. One, I'm going to look at myself. For myself, it was a fair one because my doctor was a youth. and we became friends. So this guy made sure even if drugs are not there, mine would be there. Because at some point I told him, if I die, I'll blame you for me dying.
It's on your head.
Yes.
If I die, it's on your head.
Yes. You get it? So this guy, if my drugs are like 2 weeks to come, he calls me, Suzan, we are becoming shortage of drugs, but maybe you come, I get for you so you don't do what? You don't miss.
Yeah.
Now, if I didn't have such a friend, meaning some people miss and they die because of that. But this guy became...
And it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Even if I'm not your friend, you need to access your drugs on time.
Yes. Now, I'm going to give you the experience of the people I work on right now, like people with chronic diseases. I've seen people with HIV, like person with disability at the same time they have HIV. And they cannot move from down there where they are to come and get the drugs. Of course, there's distance, there's stigma, and at some point there are no drugs at hospital. You come, you're disabled, and you know disabled people like lose it faster. So someone will be like, so I think if there was a way someone would simplify this for person with disability or anyone, and they make it like each, because we have different service centers. We have service center 1, 2, 3, I don't know how they call them. So each health center should be having medication for these people so they're not left out in some point.
All right, let's go for a short break, but we'll return. Now we dive deep into the campaign that she's making. Otherwise, tonight's episode is really, really inspirational. It had me nearly crying a few minutes ago, but don't go away, we're coming back. And welcome back. Now, if you're just joining us, I'm afraid you've missed the very fast, insightful, and also very inspirational episode, a segment of this lovely episode of The Desk, where we're actually talking more about vulnerabilities and how to come out of that. Remember, all the things we share on this platform is for you to get out of the place that you are. But you can follow this very lovely discussion on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Do it for Shadrack Kisame. Do it for U24 Television. Now, for you who has someone with disabilities, I think you need to sit back, relax, so that we see how Suzan is actually trying to get these people back on track. And for you, if you're a policymaker, you better sit back also, so that you can at least help her with her endeavors. Now, Suzan, you've recovered. You've now gotten a platform with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. Now, you've talked to a lot of people with disabilities. So now, how then do you say, okay, I now want to help these people permanently? How do you conceive this?
Okay, now, during COVID, people would reach to me. I am not there yet, but at least when you're on TV, people think you have the money to help.
Yeah.
Now, people would reach to me with different complaints. Of course, apart from TV, I also do charity.
People, when they see on TV, they think you have money to help. I don't have money to help.
Yes. Now
I don't have money to help.
Okay, people would reach to me, and at some point, I would also do some counseling, would go to field, get to know these people. Before I get you to be on my set, I have to know you. Yeah. I don't just host you. Of course, I have to know what caused your disability and the rest. Now, some of this, what pushed me to do this campaign is, I have a group of women, around 300 women within Wakiso, Kampala, and Mukono. These are people with disability. At the same time, they have HIV. At the same time, they're single mothers. So now they have three hustle at the same time. You get it? Now we are in a group. We are in a group with them, and this group every Friday we come together and see what we have to help them. Yes. Now this time I told myself at some point I also go broke. I would be helping, but how about tomorrow I'm not on UBC? Who will give this hand? So I thought about it. I am the brain behind everything, and I had to write to different people. Of course, among them I wrote to the Deputy Lord Mayor, and she said, Suzan, I do the same, so we can bring up women and see that we fight for them together. So I came up with a concept on end violence against women with disability. Why violence? Now, Shadrack, there's something me and someone in office don't know. Victoria University Vice Chancellor asked me a question and told me, Suzan, you're talking about these women being single mothers. Where are their husbands? Exactly. Where are those people? Where are these men? Actually, there are four prominent people who have asked me the same question. Now, these women, might not be knowing where these men are. I'm going to give you an example, Shadrack, of albinism. People with albinism don't have good sight. Now, some of these men will come at night and promise them heaven and earth, and tomorrow they'll not recognize that it's Shadrack.
But who is this man? Who is this fool who, you know, just that's taking advantage, correct?
Of course. Now that's what we want to end it. If you're not going to marry a woman with a disability, don't make her a single mother.
Oh, but are you always there? You're not going to be there tonight, will you?
It's kind of touching one, of course. Now, some of these women also at some point...
They're gullible.
Yes. So of course, someone now, you don't have a job and someone says, I'm going to marry you, and they give in. When she gets pregnant, this man will not want to be there. We want these women to earn their voice. That even if Suzan is not there, she can say, no. You get it? If I gave you my phone one day, you would tell me, you girl, I can't handle this one. Of course, they will call you with this complaint. Now this child is sick. Now this is this. So I want to bring up a team that can advocate for their rights. That even if tomorrow, Shadrack, you're not on U24, this person can say it's a no. You get it? This person knows I have to go to hospital. And in this one campaign, we have different activities like visiting hospitals. Now, getting back to hospitals, in Uganda, we have one of the hospitals you should sit down and be like, oh my God, our women are not given rights to maternity. Of course, even beds there are too high, and you know, a woman with disability cannot climb up. Some of them even don't go for antenatal because nurses keep asking them, okay,
that's the stigma.
Yes, so we want to change that mindset so these women live.
You know, Suzan, let's just talk deeply about that. How women with disabilities end up getting pregnant. It's not a bad thing. They can get pregnant provided the person is staying there. But then also now the nurses, why are they treating them like that? Why are we having this situation?
Now, in Uganda, one thing you have to know, until there is that thing that says, so until you get into that situation, then you'll know. Now, these nurses think for them they cannot get disabled one day. You get it? Of course, they don't know that disability doesn't have age, doesn't have an application and anything. So when these women go to hospitals, these people think, and me and you don't know this. Let me just tell you something you need to know. Now, when someone is disabled, a simple advice is for them to have children. Of course, if the real mothers die today, if the mother of this child who is disabled dies today, then this child is going to live a hard life because it's only your mother and your children who will understand your disability. The rest of us are not going to understand it. You get my point? So giving birth is better for them. But then the struggle is, whom should I give birth to? That's the point. And now you know that in the market of Uganda, when you look at relationship, men will be like, I can't marry a little person. Little person is this... You know them, little person. You people name them differently, but they're called little person. When they bring a little person, it's a no. So we want to change the mindsets of people. I know it's not going to go off today, but at least one day, one time, we shall be remembered for putting in something.
But now, for me now, what's disturbing is the nonsense. How then do we end this stigma? Like, can't we just identify one? Maybe you with government and then
Neda, what you're going to do is you're going to have training of nurses. See, nurses we even have security personnel. So it's a big
community thing.
Yes. Now for the personnel, because you've not heard what they do to person with disability. Most of our person with disability, I'm not saying that they're perfect, but some of them are even in prison and they don't know why they're in prison. You get. So we shall have different training with media personnel, even media. Looking at schools, the same. So we have different activities. We also have capacity building. Now, for capacity building, we want to remove this mentality of people thinking person with disability are worth the food. That Shadrack, you're going to stand here and ask for 20 million and come give them 10,000 because they are disabled.
Exactly, that's what I was going to ask. A lot of people sit here with me on TV and they're like, oh, what? They talk passionately like you're talking, but
why don't you ask for 20 million and teach me how to make soap? Then take your percentage.
Give me a skill.
Yes, give me a skill. Give me a small capital. I start. Don't ask money on my name again. You get it? So this time we are not giving out money. We don't have the money, but at least there are even these women who have the skills, but they don't have where to start. That's why we call in the community. If you have charan, you have something you want to donate, bring it up. It's not about all money, because now people have put the money issue into person with disability mind, that every time you call them, they say, okay, Suzan has called us, there should be food, there should be money. You are better than 10,000.
So this, whenever you call these disabled people and they come, Bamanya agenda kudai with 2 kilograms of posho.
Yes. And not knowing onabayise asabye more than that. So for us, it's just a campaign, it's a fundraising where we're going to collect money, and all the accountability will be on my show and our channels. So you get to know I'm giving in 10 million. The 10 million is going to go to hospitals. We're going to go to hospitals with a team of people, maybe from UN, because we have invited enough people from UN, from women with UN women, UN embassies. We want to show them the clear picture what these women go through. A woman has cancer and she's disabled. How does she get chemotherapy? You get it? So it's not about money. It's not about food this time. We don't have the food to give out.
Before we go for a short break, Suzan, there's a lady who is in the category of the people you've mentioned. They're disabled, probably have HIV/AIDS, probably, they're having this violence and all this. They are watching you right now. What do they do?
Okay, now one thing about life is about believing in yourself. And if you want help, you first help yourself. That's so strong. You need to help yourself. Now, we're not going to be able to reach to everyone, but we shall do our best. It's not a campaign that is going to end today. We are having something big and big and big. We are going to have a toll-free line. We are going to be hand in hand with police, so that in case of anything, someone just calls police, and we know we have a coordinator in this region from this police. We have this person from here. In hospitals, we shall be having different people. And I think the better thing is to be on UBC, because everything will be on my show. Have my numbers. My numbers are always there. That chicken number that crosses is always mine.
You can give them your number before we go for a short break.
My number is 0709 1998 45.
You want to do that again?
Yes, 0709 1998 45.
All right, now let's go for a short break, but when we come back, we're still with Suzan here, and I'm telling you, she's extremely passionate about what she does, and she tells you she has fallen victim of this. That's why she actually said, I cannot sit down here, yet people are going through the same. That's why she rose up and she's doing something about it. You also can do something about it, but do not go away. We're coming back. All right, we are still with the lady here. She speaks things as she knows them. She speaks things as she has experienced them. Suzan is here, and I'm telling you, she's gone through things. That has been the benchmark of what she is doing right now. But I'm telling you, you are on U24 television, and guess what? It is the desk, and the desk has 10 minutes to go. So for you, if you have someone and they are not on TV, they are in the diaspora, tell them that the desk is live on Shadrack Kisame's YouTube. And remember, if you are watching on YouTube, you better subscribe and also hit that notification bell. In case we put up something, you'll definitely be the first to know. Now, if you have not followed me on social media, you have a minute right now before we continue. Rush right now, get to your Facebook. Type in Shadrack Kisame, like the page, and go to Instagram, Kisame Shadrack. Follow me for everything the desk, for everything Shadrack Kisame. And remember, the desk is not only a TV show. If you have issues about branding, you have issues about brand positioning, you are there and you're confused when to start your company, how to start, remember, we are a solution-based platform. We give you solutions. All you need to do is reach out to us, and we'll definitely be able to give a hand where we can. Just reach out to us, Shadrack Kisame, everywhere on social media. Or you can actually write to the email, kisameshadrack44@gmail.com. But we're still with Suzan Awar here, who says that disabled women can actually have a better tomorrow. Now, we're talking about your campaign, and you're saying you're going to get all stakeholders. How are you getting these stakeholders?
Okay, we have rated some of them. Now, some of them are people who deal with persons with disabilities. Some are organizations. And we also have a dinner, a fundraising dinner on Women's Day. Now, this is going to give us a clear picture of how we are going to work with these people. Now, some of these people have reached actually to us. Of course, they have seen what we have been doing, and they're like, okay, fine, can I be part of the campaign? Can I put in what I can for now? So that's how we get these people.
Suzan, how much money are you looking?
Right now, for the dinner or for the everything?
Everything. How much money are you looking at?
Okay, we are looking at 150 million.
Uganda shillings?
Yes, for start. Yes, yes. And we have reached to funders. Of course, I can't mention their names, and some of them are promising. But meanwhile, we are waiting for them to approve our proposals. So we have done ourselves jobs of saying, okay, we can take in activities for start. Of course, anyone who is going to give you money needs you there. Yes. Not seated here on U24 pointing fingers. I need money, I need money. Yeah. Of course, we are doing activities and we are selling off things. We are doing a lot of things that can raise us some money for start. So we know at the start we have maybe our 30 million, 50 for start. We can go to these societies, identify the victims. We can also start with counseling, like that.
So on your team, how many people have you employed, or do you have? Okay,
right now officially I'm working with Nowudu. Nowudu is the biggest umbrella for women with disability in Uganda, and it has been there for more than 50 years. Now, why Nowudu? Of course, some of these funders asked, if we are to give money, we don't want to give our money to Suzan. We want to give money to an organization. Yes. Yes, so we have Nowudu. Then we have the deputy mayor. Of course, she also advocates for the right of person with disability. We have some of them, I wouldn't mention their names, but we have many people. We are a team of around 30 women. Some of them are on front line.
Others are from the back.
Yes.
Yes. Impressive. But then someone would think a man who is with disabilities and they are watching right now,
okay, now there are two things you need to know here. A man with a disability is kindly fair than a woman.
Why?
I have heard a story of a woman and a man. Yeah. I know a man with a disability, of course. Men are always men, of course. But 80% of women with disability go through hard time than the men.
Really?
Yes, they do.
Why? Is it because they give
back?
Let
me tell you something. Sebabi has a woman. You know that?
Yeah, Sebabi is married, yes.
Is married, yes. But out of 100 women in this country, it is, I shouldn't own this word. I shouldn't. It's a by the way. Yeah. No, it's not a by the way. It's mbo. People say it. Unless she has money, then she will get married.
Yeah, so someone feels like, why should I marry?
Yes, but 80% of persons with disability who are women are single mothers. Not for the men are not. Out of the 100 we have in the country.
But then Rachite Babawasa, why are they just using
them? Of course, this men, I don't want to own this word. Yeah. Men. I can mean to say it 100 times. Last time my producer was telling me, Suzan. Men, I think men have one problem. I think that's the right word. So they end up putting our women into single motherhood. You get it?
But don't you think we'll need to have a campaign? Even the boy child, girl child bemubulirira ne abavubuka tebababulira.
Actually, someone from Blue Band, a friend of mine, I think is something like a director, is telling me, Suzan, after this, me and you need to sit down and talk about a boy child. I'm so tired of that.
Exactly. Someone needs to talk to the boys, because I'm thinking, Stanley, imagine nobody talks to the boys.
Now about me and you know, when school doesn't take me, but you go back to school. You know that? Yes. The boy goes back to school. Yeah. So the woman has less rights. I shouldn't say less rights, but they're given less what? Less chances.
There are no chances for women.
Yes. There is no woman who will ever use a man unless.
But do you see, because I mean you cannot reach out to everyone, but do you see some of these things ending in the near future?
Yes. Now, there are things I can say yes, there are things I should say no. You get it? There are things as sharing my concept with someone and we were talking about it and told me, Suzan, this word of will end should just be, we should just cross it. Me and you know, when it comes to Ugandans, they can put something into work for a week, and after a week,
exactly, they move on. People in Uganda move on.
Yes, but the things, of course, if we look at empowerment, you know, if you give me something and as a beggar, of course, this time I'm not going to come and beg again, unless I'm cast to beg. You get it?
Does that
but
exist?
But then there's Tosha. We shall look at if we have the security on our side and we know we have police. In case you beat up a woman, there is police to come for you. Maybe from 100 it will go back to 40. So
people are still beating women in this day and age.
Yes, they do.
Now I was discussing with my friend the other day, Gamba bakazi benaku zino. How can you? Girls of these days?
They beat them so hard. Even someone sent me a story last night of a man beating some woman.
Oh, it's in remote areas.
No, even in Kampala. Even some of them, I know them. They beat them seriously.
So I think that's I'm right. The men need to be talked up. I think Stanley, we should also start up a campaign on the desk for talking to men.
Men, yes, I think that should work. Men should know how to treat women.
Our time is really well spent. But what are your last words under 60 seconds?
Okay, I am going to call upon everyone who feels it's worthy to empower a woman, because our theme says empower a woman, build a great nation. We all know the future is female. Why not? We can, when you empower one woman, you're building a great nation. So you're going to come to us and let's work together. Let's put in a hand. Let's remove the other mindset of people thinking person with disabilities are beggars. Let's remove that. And actually, before I forget that, we even have scholarships. We have reached different universities and I've said, no, Suzan, bring in your people to have free school with us. So if you have anything and you feel like donating to us, it should be school, it should be what, anything, but not use the clothes, because of course we don't use clothes. Then you can reach it out to us and put in a hand. Let's work together to see these women have a better life. Let's work together and see a better Uganda for everyone. All
right, I'm telling you, Suzan right here is extremely passionate about this campaign, and I'm telling you, you out there, not used clothes, not food. They are tired of those things. They want next level things. We're talking empowerment for these women. Now, Suzan right here, you can reach out on the numbers she has told you, or even you can actually reach out on her social media platforms. That is Suzan Suzan Award, Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. Just reach out to her and talk to her and give her a hand, because she definitely needs one. Now, from me and the entire 24 management, we want to say it's a wrap. Good night, good luck, adios for God and my country. May the good Lord bless this beautiful Uganda. Now, until next week, same place, same time, of course, same host, now more than ever. I'm yours truly, Shadrach Kisame. Good night.